Hello, good afternoon, everyone, and my name is Jhermy, and I'm so happy and grateful to be your host in today's live webinar. So, just a little bit about my background. My name is Jhermy. So, I'm originally from the Philippines, but I'm based here in London working as a nurse. I'm also an advocate of the Overseas Filipino Entrepreneurs or OFE, and I'm the founder of Germination Events and One Nation Awards UK Lockdown 2020. And at the moment, I'm running a talent competition online, which is Germination Got Champion Talent Competition. I'm also a columnist of One Philippines news magazine here in the UK. I'm a visitor host for VNG or Virtual Network Global, and I'm into international distribution business. I'm also a live streamer in Facebook and YouTube as Germination, and I'm part of the ASEAN Youth Organization Philippines Youth Empowerment Group. So that's me. But before we begin, I encourage everyone to please ask questions. No such thing as stupid or silly questions because we are all learners here. So if you have any questions regarding the discussion for today, please don't hesitate to send it to us by entering it on the comment section of whatever social media platform you are watching us, where you are watching this on. And I'll be here to cater them for our special guests. So, welcome to our live webinar series of ESME.ph, which is an e-learning marketplace for professional Filipinos wherein one can develop relevant and in-demand skills through masterclasses in different fields of learning. So if you want to learn more about us, feel free to visit our page, which is www.esme.ph, and that is esme.ph. And for those of you who are watching this on Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn, please feel free to share the link for this live stream to those people who you think will benefit and will be interested in today's topic. As we know, as we all say, sharing is caring. So this webinar is also in partnership with ASEAN Youth Organization, an ASEAN-approved nonprofit organization which is who spreads awareness of ASEAN to over 200 million young people in Southeast Asia. This webinar is also brought to you by Rotary Club of Alabang, Madrigal Business Park. So, are you ready, guys? We have a very interesting topic for today. It's all about, guess what? Meditative art, an inward journey. So, as we move forward, settling to the new normal, it is given that we have more time now to ourselves more than ever, as we have more time to reflect on the things that has been hindering us to grow and to be the better version of ourselves. Moving on from what's been haunting us in the past, it is a best time for us to be doing this, especially during these times of lockdown and being indoors 24/7. All right. So, to introduce our very special guest for today is no stranger in the art of meditation. As a child and rights and healing arts advocate, she made use of her knowledge and skills in her field as a child therapist and community organizer, making sure that her leadership skills are being utilized to conduct trainings, seminars, and workshops that lead to self-growth. As a graduate of 2 degrees, namely Bachelor of Laws in Andres Bonifacio College and Bachelor of Science in Psychology, major in Counseling and Human Resource Development in Ateneo de Zamboanga University, she volunteers in organizations such as the DSWD. Ladies and gentlemen, let's all welcome Ramona Barbaso or Monyin. Hello, Monyin.
Hello.
Or she prefers to be called
Hello.
Y. Hello.
Y for very short. If
Yes.
you want it long, you can call me Ramona Liza Barbaso. So if
Wow.
you want it short, want it short, you can Y. So if you have Ys, you remember me. Y.
Yes.
Okay.
Amazing.
But, a little correction about the I didn't graduate yet sa ano yan, Bachelor of Laws. So I
Mhm.
didn't graduate in Bachelor of Laws. So I'm more into like focusing on my study on divine laws pa muna ngayon. So, yun. And then I also volunteered. I'm a Jesuit volunteer of the Philippines to add on in volunteering and make volunteering like a part of life. Like if you're needed, where you are needed, so you'd answer the call. So I volunteered last time in many communities already. So hindi ko na lang isa-isahin. Yan ano. So ayun. So
Many thanks for that, Y, and our apologies.
it's okay, it's okay. I just want to be honest na I didn't I didn't finish the Bachelor of Laws.
Thank you very much for that.
Kasi kayo tatanong kayo tungkol sa mga sa laws. So I'm not So yun.
All right. So the floor is yours. Why?
Okay, so it's actually more of like sharing what I experience or what I learned from my experiences. So it's not really something like very academic yet that I am going to share to you. So it's more of like personal process of healing, and maybe from healing myself, I can also share to you in a broader spectrum how you can also learn from it on how to heal by using the meditative art. So anyway, um, can you see the my slides?
Not quite. Yeah, that's it.
Can you see my slides?
Yes, we can see it now. Thank you.
Okay, so here I'll start. If you have any questions, so just ask. So meditative art. So it's more of like not just meditative art, but it's more of like advocating for the I love life. So this is my process of I love life or loving life. So for me, art is a creative portal to a sacred adventure. So this is my experience on art and meditative art. So art is a powerful medium, a creative portal to a sacred adventure. So it allows us to connect to our inner wisdom, inner guide, and allow ourselves to transcend and be one with the higher consciousness. So it allows us to listen to the unheard stories and connect to the unspoken words of the spirits, to the source of all creativity. So art then becomes a prayer. I'll move on. So meditative art is like listening to the music of your soul, because even your breathing sings. So even if you're actually, prayer is like you speaking to the higher being. Meditative is like listening to the answers of the higher being. So prayer and meditation is actually like a communication of you and your God or your goddess or the higher being or the higher consciousness. So, a true warrior is brave enough to embrace her own light and unafraid to travel within her inner darkness. I included this one because it's important that when you go inside yourself, you have to be really aware that there can be shadows, and you have to confront your own weaknesses, you have to confront your own demons, you have to confront a lot of things. So but then but for me it's not about that. There's light at the end of the tunnel. You have to really spark the light even if you are inside the tunnel. So parang it's like that for me. So there are many ways of meditative art. So it's like writing, poetry, or visual arts, photography, dancing, singing, writing songs. So there's a lot of ways to express meditative art. Actually, life itself is a meditative art. If you what's this? If you your attention is not only focused into one but also being aware of the grander scale of things, so parang it's you and then their awareness, the awareness within you also. Am I making sense here? So it's something like that. So here I've written a poem which was written by free writing. Free writing means when you allow yourself, you listen to yourself and you write down what's being said to you or why you said it. It's actually like not you speaking. So you realize it wasn't really you, or what, it wasn't really just you. So I write by Yen. I just read it anyway, okay? I write because it's magical to speak silently and tell stories in brood letters and potion of words, to address without exposing your flesh. To undress without exposing your flesh. When your pen or your wands, with the help of your hand, and a spell to reveal the unheard stories. Beyond eyes can see, beyond ears can hear, beyond heart can feel. Beyond mind can understand, you witness magic in your bare naked eyes. It takes you to a boundless adventure and wander in the forest of truth. To rediscover your reflections without staring in a mirror. To open those catacombs to let the light out that were buried in silence. The key is only you, you alone. It is magical to win the war without fighting a battle, to cleanse the memories of the past, the present, and the future without lifting a broom. It is magical to witness that the dots are connected, how the dots are connected. It is magical to be heard not only with your voice, not only with your screams. It is magical to see your ideas sprout and you wonder how sacred they are, as sacred as those who planted them. As you discover a bridge to the unfamiliar and mysterious memories, it is magical that you have the power to freeze the moment and encapsulate them in words, to let your soul vibrate into your breathings and let it flow and radiate it into your writings. We hear your cries and tears, your breath becomes our breath. So I made this one 12:11 a.m., 8, 6, 2015. Art allows us to connect the dots. So when we bask in silence and allow our thoughts to flow where it has to go and be guided with a higher being, it allows us to rediscover parts of ourselves that are hidden or suppressed. So connecting the dots allows us to see the bigger picture. It allows us to see patterns we often disregard. And when we ask ourselves, why, what happened? Then proceed with what can be done. So it doesn't stop only with knowing the answer or why, but also what can be done. So this is the connect the dots. But then unfortunately, someone destroyed this connect the dot masterpiece. But then it's just like that. You just have to let it go. So trust the divine guidance. When I do painting, I actually don't put my signature on it, or the time where when I made it, because for me it's not just me. It's like a messages from the divine being that's totally not just my own. That's why I don't own it and put signatures on it. So when I do this, so trust the divine guidance. So first I do psychic protection. So there's a lot of means of psychic protection. This is like another class maybe, because it has a lot of things to do on psychic protection, you can like sage, you can like grounding, or you walk barefoot in the ground on the ground. So there's a lot of ways to do psychic protection. And then I do spiritual cleansing. Mostly I do saging. So and then emptying because it's like allowing myself to just to empty myself first before the divine guidance can make me as a medium or a tool for a higher message. Even sometimes I actually do not have a preconceived vision of what I'm going to paint or to write or to it's more of like I empty myself first, and then inviting the divine guidance, the ancestral wisdom, the spiritual guides, the ascended masters, and then stepping into the creative portal. So receiving the message, and then stepping into the creative portal when you do the painting or the writing or the dancing or the making of the songs or whatever you do, and and honor is at an art. So receiving the message, and then maturing process. Maturing process is a very important process because you allow your art piece to just sit still and 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 mature. And sometimes when I do this, like there are paintings that I did before that when I look back on it, like, that's the message. That's why, so it's maturing process. It's like when you have a raw fruits, and then you put it in a dark place first so that it can ripen. So it's what maturing process is. So you allow it to grow, you allow it to ripen. And then you get the divine message. So for me, it's trust and energetic vibrations. If you have any question, you can ask her. So every brushstroke carries an energetic vibration. So for me, when I paint, so I I put my breath on it, and what's this, and allow the spirit to use me as a medium, and also it's like saying, allowing your hands that sometimes you can't understand, but you just do it anyway. You just allow yourself to be guided. You allow yourself to be the messenger of the message. Ocean of thoughts battled against strong tide of conflicting truths. Without gills, I breathe only air of hope. Without fins, I swam the deepest sea of love. Ignoring that I am flesh meal for sharks, I struggled with the coldness of the world underwater to explore the sunken emotions of your titan. Actually, we have a like a misconception of divine feminine and divine masculine, that it is only like a separate being like male and female. But in fact, we are actually both the divine feminine and the divine masculine. The divine masculine in us, and that's why there is a when we of energy have painted. So this is the divine feminine and the divine masculine. Divine Justice. Divine Justice is actually I made this painting before upside down, and then later I realized it's actually it's actually it should be the other way around, and I see patterns of hearts, and it led me to the realization that maybe divine justice is really will really lead us to the love of life, or to love life, because it's 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 very it's very limiting for us to just see the surface of the justice system that we have now. The divine symmetry is the balance of light and dark, and life and death, feminine and masculine, constantly in vibrations, in the interconnections and intraconnections of the web of life. So it's not only interconnections us and outside, but also within us, that we so that we can make sense out of connections. So once upon a time, the moon loved the sun until the end. So this is a clay mold I made during my lakbay guhit when I had a travel all over the Philippines. Not really all over the Philippines, but parts of the Philippines to advocate with the children, and to provide venue for them to express themselves, and to have venue for them so that they can be listened to, or that they can provide venue that where they can listen to themselves. So generations ahead, actually I had a different painting where there's many year of that one, but for me it's very important that we only not think of this generation but generations ahead, and if our plans or visions are actually like serving not just only us but also the generations ahead, incorporating also our ancestral wisdom and all that, that is I know that we what we honor. And what's this, it's very important also that we do not dissolve our culture, because these are foundations has already processed. And so gift, I actually gifted this one and leave it somewhere. So when an empath visits museum or any place, she can see all the cracks in the wall. She listens to the whispers of the spirits. She breaks through the letters into words, into messages. She understands unspoken stories. She cries, she weeps, she wails. She screams silently in the inside. The energy of the past, present, and future are felt in that moment. Art allows her to transmute these energies with her creative energy and with the divine guidance. She creates, then one day, of the unknown. So this one is a story I posted before, and I just incorporate it in So this one is the forgiveness stone, I call it. So a few days ago, I almost slipped and fell to the ground because of the stone. It was strategically positioned by nature on the pathway where I have to walk. Good thing I remember Chun-Li's karate moves and was able to balance myself. I pick up the stone instead of throwing it away and cursing its existence. Then I decided to have my morning coffee with the stone. I asked myself, what could be the message of this stone to me? What lesson do I have to learn from this? As I continued to examine the stone, I noticed that the stone was hacked. revealing its wound on the right side. I wanted to ask the stone, "Are you still in pain? Did you show up because you needed healing?" Stone. As I sipped my coffee, I picked on my own treasured chest of pains and struggles, my own woundedness. I realized it's easier to forgive when you recognize your own wounds, when you see the wounds and pains of others as a reminder of your own. Yes, even that in this innocent stone that almost got me out of balance. As a reminder of this sacred encounter, I decided to paint the stone with forgive and painted half part with a heart, sutured it with healing light. As I was painting, I prayed for my own healing too. And as I released the stone back to nature, I prayed for others who needs it, who needs it. Then I told myself, if you can forgive a stone, you can also forgive yourself and others. I thank God for this symbolic gesture that taught me a priceless lesson. God has a sense of humor of letting me speak with stone. Purification. All the efforts of our soul is to become pure. So purification can be messy like art, but we don't judge the process until we see the bigger picture. So you don't stop like when you put a tiny dot in your canvas, you don't assume like that's all of it. So purification process is so this one is I hand painted, along with the divine justice painting. It's a hand painted, so I used my fingers to mess with the canvas. So Mother Earth. So I'll just run down the paintings that I did, and maybe you can have something out of it. So this is Mother Earth. It's crying. And then elemental powers. So actually we have so little reverence to the elemental powers that we forgot to that we depend our lives on her. So this is elemental powers. The air, so look beyond your eyes can see. So the story of this one is my dad who already passed away appeared in my dream and give me a message that to not worry, to look beyond your eyes can see, to listen beyond your ears can hear, and to understand beyond your mind can comprehend, and to feel beyond your heart can feel. So it took me a long time to really to discern on the message. Like, what could be that one? But it 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 dawned to me that it's a very deep kind of wait lang ha. Uh, wait. And then can you still see me? So Phoenix. And then so from ashes to Phoenix. Heh.
So I would like to remind everyone, please ask questions. We are encouraging you to ask questions regarding the subject matter. So what I've said, there's no silly or stupid question. We are all learners here, and meditative art is very, very interesting topic, very enlightening and empowering as well, knowing that there's such thing as meditative arts that we can utilize in order to raise our awareness and consciousness as human beings. So we have like 10 viewers at the moment on YouTube, I can see. Please write on the comment section your questions regarding the topic, and I will cater them. I'll be here to cater them for our guest speaker. I'm sure you've got a lot of questions in your mind. It's a topic that is not being talked about most of the time. And it's very important, especially during this time that we are locked down and we are at home 24/7, as what we said earlier. And it's the best time to actually look into ourselves, reflect what are those things that actually stop us from growing and from being the better version of ourselves. So this is the best time to actually free ourselves, reflect, free ourselves of what has been haunting us in the past, and be the better version of ourselves. So this is a very interesting topic. And while waiting for our guest speaker, again, if you want to know more about us, please visit our page www.esme.ph. There's a lot of webinars for it's a marketplace for Filipino professionals if you want to develop relevant and in-demand skills through the master classes that is being offered by esme.ph. Whatever fields of learning you are in, I'm sure you can find something in esme.ph. And again, this webinar is brought to you by Rotary Club of Alabang, Madrigal Business Park, and this is in partnership with ASEAN Youth Organization, which is an ASEAN-approved nonprofit organization that spreads awareness of ASEAN to 200 million young people in Southeast Asia. So I'm
Sorry, I
hello,
got
hello, why?
disconnected. I got
Welcome back.
disconnected. I don't know what
Welcome back.
happened. I don't know what happened, but then suddenly my laptop got drained, but I don't know what's happening.
It's
So
perfectly okay.
so if there's any question, or should I continue my
Yes, please continue, please. Why?
thank you. Um, okay, this one is the lotus, which often appears in my paintings. And then this one is the golden key. My reflection in this is like we are the key, both the key and the keyhole. This one is visionary and goddess unite painting. So this one is a reflection. Um, I'll just read it anyway. Travel. Wait. Travel light. In spirit and in solidarity of the free the voice, I will try my very best to encapsulate into words these voiceless tears falling from my eyes. Perhaps these tears are longing to be heard. There is so much pain and turmoil I cannot even pinpoint where it is coming from. But I will try to make sense out of this as I write. Maybe I'm angry with the senseless killings, with the disgusting and misogynist patriarchal society, with the many other injustices all over the world. I can externalize these problems and be critical as much as I want, and spill over negativity to my relationship with other people. Thus, I pause and ask to remind myself, How about solutions? So I look again inside, and as I interconnect with others in finding solutions, I also value the need to intraconnect to myself because this is a significant part of my spiritual evolution, the her story of my becoming, even if there is no clear path where I am heading yet. When visions and synchronicity come visiting you regularly, you know you are called to greater responsibilities too. Visionaries cannot stop at having visions. The greater challenge is to become solutionaries, to work and craft meaningful and effective solutions to problems. If not, and also effective. Effective means it it goes to the core or to the root of the problem, that it heals the traumas of the past, and not only effective but effective as well. I figured these baggages that I carried are not mine alone to keep, and that it shouldn't be kept, but instead to voice it so it can be heard. And from there, we can work on it together. And that maybe this pain and turmoil springs from the vantage point of feeling helpless and feeling of not doing enough, despite all the efforts made and done. And yet, I will not stop here. I refuse to believe that nothing can be done. I believe that there are still so many possibilities and still so many work to be done in creating a better world. Perhaps we can enjoy the fruits of our labor in this lifetime, or we can just cherish the thought that our future generations have a better place to live in. So, with tears in my eyes, I stand back again. I let my tears seep through the skin like solutions breaks through problems. As I continue my journey and learn more, or maybe unlearn some too, that I may relearn something new again. I will remember that a cup needs to be emptied to be filled again. This drawing of a turtle who has an empty shell at her back best illustrates what this exercise of speaking my own truth, downloading my baggages as I flow back to the stream and continue my journey. It's still sketchy and has no color, but I see beauty even in the raw and unfinished. Please help me pray that I may be guided with the divine spirits that hold me dear in this sacred adventure called life. Thank you, love and light, Muni. Accompaniment. So this one is an old guitar, which is actually here, but already destroyed again. I don't know what happened, but someone must be really angry with what I'm doing. So accompaniment, gifted to me by my parents when we celebrated my 19th year on earth. The first guitar I had but was broken. I still didn't throw it away. My companion for years, even when I only knew four chords to play. Then one day, I was visited by the dreams of yesteryears. Patiently, I braided the feeble threads to make it strong, made them into a dream catcher. Then I strengthened the edges of the guitar with clay and breathed it with prayers. I weaved the different strings to unite them into one. A reminder that there is beauty even in broken things. Thank you, guitar, for the accompaniment of my journey. So this one is a puzzle pieces that I did before. I distributed this one to the ordinary people and asked them, what is your what can you what is your idea of like creating a better society? And these are their solutions. These are their ambag. These are their ideas on how to. So for me, it's very important that we 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 value the single piece as much as the bigger piece, so that we can have a vision and not division, and we can all be part of the solution. So this one is the I Love Life. You know, I've seen the world in a speck of dust, a grain of sun, perhaps beyond. In every small there is grand. Oh, life, no greater than life. But for now, I'll just say. So I would like to thank you, my parents also. So this is my dad, my life in faith. So he is actually bedridden for like 10 years and passed away already. And my mom is still working even if she's old in age, but very young at mind. So these are the ano, I live my life the best way I know how. Man. Okay. There, and then can we show the ano or other, can we show the song, or we, if there are questions, because that's the whole of the
The
what I,
presentation.
yeah. Bata dito sa bayan, mahalaga may karapatan. Alin ba kaming tingnan? Alin ba kaming pagmasdan? Mga bata dito sa aming bayan, naglalaro, nagtatawanan. Naalin niyo ba kaming sabayan? Naalin niyo ba kaming pakinggan? Mga bata dito sa aming bayan, magkasundo, magkakaibigan. Alin niyo ba kaming damayan? Alin niyo ba kaming samahan? Mga bata dito sa aming bayan, nagmamahal, may pakiramdam. Alin niyo ba kaming maunawaan? Alin niyo ba kaming gabayan? Ang mga bata dito sa aming bayan, nagtatanong, kaya pa'y kailan mapagtay? Alin niyo ba kaming protektahan? Alin niyo ba kaming tulungan? Mga bata dito sa aming bayan, nagdarasal, sinusugat ng karahasan. Alin niyo ba kaming ipaglaban? Alin niyo ba kaming panindigan? Mga bata dito sa aming bayan, maipagmalaki, may kakayahan. Alin niyo ba kaming pagkatiwalaan? Alin niyo
lahat. Mga bata dito sa aming bayan, puso namin ay may handog na mapagulo ang pamamaraan. Maaari nyo bang malaman? Maaari nyo bang kaming pagbigyan?
Wow.
There.
Amazing. Wow. What was the title of that song? Is it Maari?
Maari, it's like a plea it's a children's plea. So I asked them like if you have an assurance that your voice are heard. So what would you want to say to the world? What would you want to say to the adults? So these are the things that they shared to me. And one not in the video, not in the song also. They mentioned about sana maging tapat sila. So parang it's
Mhm.
or like mga ano parang
Yes.
it allows you to reevaluate your deepest core
Yeah.
like tapat nga ba yung mga not only for the leaders but mo but also for all of us adults.
Amazing. Yeah. Being true to ourselves. That's very
Yes,
important. That's
parang,
what you
and
said. That's
also being parang like not only authentic and genuine but also to really not 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 only stop there of being like who you are and just but also to expand that to other people. So
amazing.
your light will not just be contained into one dark place because it's like but we all are like stars strategically positioned in places of the earth.
Wow. Thank you very much, Y, for sharing your expertise and your time on this very interesting topic. That's what I said earlier. It's very enlightening and very empowering to know that there's such thing as meditative arts that we can use as a tool to increase our awareness and heighten our consciousness about what's happening, not just inside, but also outside, and how we interact with our with the nature, with our outside environment, and ourselves as well. And thank you for sharing that music video that you did called
Yeah.
Maari.
Thank you also for allowing me to have this opportunity to share my being my being
Yes, yes.
to all of you who are watching this one.
I love that word, human being or human doing, right? It's something
Human,
like that. Yeah,
human,
yeah, yeah. As what you said, yeah, it's knowing who we are, and it doesn't stop there. But we have to, apart from being true to ourselves, we have to expand it and explore it, share it to other people as well. Um, we have some questions here.
yes,
Is that okay? We have a Q&A
yes, sure.
session.
Sure,
Okay,
if I'm guided to if I'm guided to answer it, and I'd answer it. If not, then I just leave
absolutely.
as park it somewhere as a park it as a question in a park.
Absolutely. Absolutely. As what you said, we are, once we come into that meditative state, we are just like messenger. I like what you said earlier that what you are doing, you don't actually put your name on it per se because
I
it's
don't.
something, it's a message. You are a medium that
Yeah.
all these messages will be communicated to the people because at the end of the day, the right people will actually hear us. That's what I believe. Yeah. So, first
Yes.
question is the pandemic took a huge toll on everyone's mental health, especially for the youth. In what ways can they cope up, especially since it's a challenge for them to adjust with situations at home at this time?
Yeah, for me, not only the basic needs that should be addressed as well
Mm.
as the safety and security, but also to allow them to have creative spaces where they can hear themselves, they can process themselves. So for me it's important because for me art is not just like a weapon that that we can
Mm.
use, but also a medicine, or medicine not like the pharmaceutical medicine, but
Mm.
a medicine for your soul. So it's like food for the
Mm.
soul in a different form. But um although I do not parang discredit other needs as well, like shelter, like protection from abuses, or from what else, like food. And I don't discredit that. It's also needed. It's very needed, the basic. And but when we in Maslow, hierarchy
Mm.
of needs, it's like at the top it's like self attainment,
Yeah.
what is that, self, help me here,
Self
self
self actualization. Self actualization.
self actualization. But it actually doesn't stop there. You have to
Mm.
transcend. When you're self actualized already, you have to
Mm.
transcend so that others can also benefit from what you've learned, from what you've
Mm.
so and stop in self actualization alone. So parang you
Mm.
expand it. So
Wow,
transcend.
thank you for that. Thank you for that. So, how can art be a psychosocial exercise for those who have traumas in disasters such as the recent typhoon, where everyone is affected drastically?
It's a very powerful tool to it may be just a pen, it may be just a clay, it may be just a what's this, a paint, or whatever,
Mm.
even basura, even garbage, you can actually transform it into a junk art or something. Parang we undervalue the our capacity to create something out of like uh, or even out of like little things that we often forget that we have that capacity. And then in relation to mental health, this is a cost effective and cost efficient, not like the millions of that you have to spend for like just for aesthetic, or just for facade or whatever. But it really hits to the core if you process yourself, because no one can really help you process yourself but yourself. So it's also, although it's also important that it's also very important to meet other people who light your being, who inspires you, who allows you to be you, who allows you to honor yourself. It's very important. So for me, it's art is a very powerful tool to heal oneself. So for me, because I've also been through a lot of storms in my life. And one time I spoke to it's not a seminar, but to a group of students and a group of students in a school. And I talk about mental health, and I talk about my story. It's not really about mental health and this and that, and what the academic perspective of like like doing things, or like healing yourself. So it's from my own experience. And I remember one student told me, thank you for telling us your story, and sharing to us that it can get better, because things get better. Things get better if we work on it, if we
Mm.
allow ourselves to heal. So it's I don't know if I don't think the proper word is like complicated or like it's simple, but it goes beyond that. So parang it's really like owning your light and not afraid to go deeper inside you, and also to
Mhm.
bring it again to the world. So it's more of that.
Wow,
So
amazing. Yes, yes. And as I just would like to expand on what you're saying, because uh, for me, the what I've learned as well is the bigger the hardship, the bigger the pain, the bigger the gift will be if we
Yeah.
overcome that one.
And it's actually like there was a kid who's selling candles to me, and I always buy candles from her because she goes here in my house and sells the candles because it helps them feed
Mhm.
her family and all that. And I was like, I had so many candles already, and I was like, Lord or God or goddesses, or is this really the amount of like light I need in my journey? So it's like, Lord, where are you taking me? It's a question of like, but it's I think openness also to the higher guidance and
Mm,
higher consciousness, because it's like alignment of your
mm.
mission.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
it will all make sense in the process, and slowly slowly and patiently you really have to I know you really have to embrace it
Mhm.
there.
Eh, exactly. Yeah. And referring back to what you said earlier, that we have to be aware of the signs around us, just like what you said earlier about the stone. What does
Ah,
this stone really mean to me? Why did I come across this one? And also that girl who sells candles. Is this how much
yeah,
light do I need in order to overcome all my problems? Yeah,
it's
that's
like
why.
those little, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's why
those
Yeah, yeah,
messages.
go.
It's like those little messages are like messages from because sometimes there are the universe is always telling us, but then sometimes we, because of our busy lives, because of we are so preoccupied with so many things,
Mhm.
we are occupied with a lot of things that bombard us every day, and that's why we tend to forget to look into ourselves, to not as introspect or something like that.
Mhm.
And for me, it's a very important exercise also, especially that we are like here in our homes, not only
Mhm.
those that's why I have a before like because not all people has a home, so parang how about them, so parang, how are they, so parang it there are so many questions like, should I just stay in my comfort zone? Should I
Mhm.
just because I I'm used to I'm used to going out into communities, going to I know
Mhm.
that's why I I realized that maybe it's also time for me to really parang what has been done already so that I
Mhm.
can on again, because I know it doesn't really stop here. And so parang it's making sense out of the tiny little things. So parang it's also, this one is also a celebration of like tiny victories that we have.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's exactly where meditative arts come into the picture, wherein you have to step back and look at what's happening, and so you get more awareness and you can deal with all these things. Because when you meditate, I think everything becomes clear to you, and you become focused, and you can see what the problem is. And as what you said, I like the term that you use, solutionary. I love that one. That's
Yeah, yeah,
be a
it's
part of the
but
solution.
yeah, but then solution was like it was gifted to me again through a dream, and then
Mm,
solution is like solutionaries are it's like it's not only effective but also
mm,
effective. Effective means like it hits to the core,
mhm, mhm,
into the heart, and it's called solutionaries because it can go through, or it can it's not like it's maybe it's not sustainable only, but it has a life of its own, like making solutions that
mhm.
has life of its own, that it can, even if you're not there anymore, it can still be there. So parang solutions are like that, so parang So that's why
Yeah,
solutions.
exactly. Yeah. Actually, the solutions to our problems are already there. That is why we have to meditate in order to clear our minds and find exactly, we have that vision, and we can find out what the solution is. By the way, there's a question here from somebody's watching from YouTube. Do you follow the law of one? This is from Mimi Mili watching from YouTube. Do you follow the law of one?
The law of one is, yes, of course, there's a divine, universal, multiversal source of all. Parang we are we are also divine, but then we have to seek that in ourselves. Eh. It's not just outside. Parang we have to when you align yourself and with the one source of all,
Yeah.
and recognizing that one, you it's not external anymore. So that's why
Mm,
art is like a medium to really like make sense of what's outside. So it's like
mm,
when you like what I said before, like when you put attention to one thing, it's like you call it focus. But then
mm.
when you become aware, so other externalities becomes incorporated and into your vision. So it's like focus and it's like attention and awareness. So it goes hand in hand, not only just attention but also awareness.
Thank you very much for answering that. And another question here. A lot of people went jobless based on statistical data. For those who are at home, how can they be motivated in pushing themselves more, since it is indeed a challenge to get employed these days?
Yes, I'm actually unemployed. Actually, when people ask me, where are you connected? So I tend to joke around and say I'm disconnected. But actually, I'm connected to myself. So I connect to the
Mm,
deeper,
mm.
to the infinities, I speak to the stones, I speak to the cracks in the wall. So you become connected to everything. But then when you speak of jobs and employment, and it's more on the economic level. And also in the financial
Got a poor connection now.
and if we especially, can you hear me?
Yep, yep, yep.
So for me, like art can become also a medium for art venture, or what's this, a business venture. But just for me, I don't sell my arts kasi, so I give them to people who I think are needs the message. So that's why it's, even if wala lang akong pera, this is just, it's just enough for me, not to sell my art, but to gift them to the people who who needs the message. So I have a lot of actually collections of paintings from children, from my art from the heart, Lakbay Guhit, the what else did I, the beehive and all. So parang these are like treasures for me, and actually I can also like sell them to give back to them.
Mhm.
For me, it's the energy that they spend on that and exhibited into something maybe later on bigger is just beyond what is just now, but to treasure that as well. So for me, it's like guardianship of it's like guardianship of their energies as well. So
Wow,
there.
amazing. Your arts are priceless. They're priceless. Okay. So, there's another question here. What meditative art exercises can you suggest to those who are new to the idea of meditation, especially to the youth who cannot grasp the idea yet?
Um, I think they just have to you don't have to like force it, but just allow yourself. You can play with the clay. You can play your guitar. You just allow yourself to be free. Actually, it's more of like the liberation of your soul
Mhm.
to just be yourself and in what you
Do what makes you
painted.
feel happy.
I think that not only that, but also too, if you do meditative art, even if you're not happy, you just have to do it still because sometimes it can evoke very strong emotions actually, and
Mm.
sometimes I cry and cry
Yeah.
and I don't even understand anymore why am I crying. So it's because I allow myself to be a nexus a nexus of the
Mm.
energies, and that's I have dreams like asking for help and what do I do with this, and also parang it's it's actually very it's actually very um it's not difficult, but it's a big responsibility. That's why I'm sharing it to you all so that you can help me with these baggages in the world. And that's why I'm willing to share about meditative art so that you can also I know you can also um you can also share your story on what you've but just don't fear to make mistakes. When you make mistake with what you because in art there are no mistakes anymore. You
Mm.
can make the what's this the mistakes into a a bird or anything you want to create. So it's like sometimes when kids the children are when I give them art materials because I'm giving them like free art materials so that they can have venue for self expression. Sometimes when they want to ask another paper because it has mistakes, so parang is you can just work on that and because it's another paper, it's another tree to be cut
Mm.
down. So parang it's it doesn't stop there. Parang it's also um it's also journeying with the children. It's also journey even
Mhm.
the actually even the adults when I give activities to children. Adults are very keen in also joining the activities like
Mhm.
their what their dream house is and actually not it doesn't stop only with with the art but also with the
Mm.
story art. So that's why it's very it's actually like listening to their stories and giving venue for them to express that one to 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 dream again to
Mhm. Mhm.
especially those who are in the margins of our society because sometimes people just look down at them like they're so lazy and they're so they have so many and then we forgot that there is so much wisdom in people who are there on the ground tilling our soil in the so parang it humbles you as well. It
Mhm.
humbles where you're at. So
That's
there.
true. I think the main message as well is after expressing yourself is that we as human beings we have the power to create our own reality. I think that's the most important message as well. Just like during these times, of pandemic or crisis, we can look at these negative experiences and turn it into an opportunity. Just like what you said, you made a mistake in your drawing. Why not turn into something else?
Yeah.
Like a bird or something. Don't use another paper. Just turn it.
Yeah.
I think that's the main message there, to empower them that we can create our own reality. It's in our hands. It's in our hands.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And it's very important also like we don't stop in in just creating like so focus in like this is what I made, but also to interconnect that one that this is what others made also, and creating a bigger
Mm-hmm.
we want to envision now, because these are what people want and these are what people dream.
Mm-hmm. It's all about connecting and collaborating with people now. We lost Y, but adding on to that one, what he's trying to say is, we were used to the word competition, but during these days, competition is an old mentality now. It's all about collaboration, and it's all about what you call this one, synergizing with other people. Just like what she said, it's connecting the dots. Look what you have come up with, and then share it to other people, and then you can collaborate. You can synergize each other, as what we all know. The greater piece is the piece is greater than the whole part. So that's it. So we still got more questions in here, but we're waiting for Y to come back. We lost her. And please, while I'm hosting, I'm actually writing as well. So I hope you are taking down notes. It's very important. You don't usually have this topic being discussed or presented in webinars like this. But I myself, I'm learning a lot. As what you can see, I've written a lot. I've got a lot of takeaways. And for everyone who attended this webinar, all of you will get a digital certificate for your attendance. Just visit our website at www.esme.ph or click the link that we posted in the comment section below. So I can see in YouTube there's a link there to get your digital certificates for attending this webinar. Click the link or visit our webpage, www.esme.ph. That's very important as well. So I hope you are learning a lot, and you have learned a lot from this live webinar from our guest speaker, Ramona Barbaso, or Y. He prefers to be called Y. So again, I would like to thank our guest speaker, and still not there. So again, before we close this webinar, I would like to invite everyone, those who want to learn more, to gain more skills and knowledge in whatever field or passion you're in. Visit our website at www.esme.ph, and we offer a wide range of master classes or masterclass courses, wherein you can enroll yourself based on whatever relevant passion you've got, career or interests. So there you go. I'm not quite sure if Y can still join us, but please do get your digital certificates. Click the link below or go to our webpage, www.esme.ph. And thank you very much, everyone, for all of those who tuned in and watched this webinar. And I'm sure you have learned a lot. And it's very important that every webinar you attend, you make sure you have your takeaway. Yeah, just like when you go to a fast food or a restaurant, always have your takeaway. It's very important. For me, I've got a lot of takeaways. So next time you attend our webinar, please, I encourage you not just to ask questions. As what I said, there's no silly or stupid questions. We are all learners here. And please make sure that you always take down notes. I'm hosting, but I've got my paper and my pen, and I'm taking down notes. So meditative arts is a very useful tool that we can utilize in order to clear our minds. There's a lot of distractions around, like social media, especially what's happening around us. Not all of them are good for our mind. We have to choose what we listen to, what we feed our mind, what we listen to, and most especially the people that we surround ourselves with. Always remember, you are the average of the 5 people you hang around with. Welcome back, Why? Welcome back.
So, sorry, my connection is down. I don't know what happened again. So I have to run in the other house and reset the router. Anyway,
That's
so here.
okay.
So
So,
what was
we still got some questions here that was asked. Aside from meditative art, being a practice that hones undiscovered talents, how is meditative art mentally beneficial for those who haven't explored their skills in crafting yet?
I think we all have the capacity to create, and I think because some people are has been judged when they were young to not create because that's not the line, that's not the perfect line, that's not the perfect circle, that's not the So if you allow that creativity to 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 just let it out and not judge yourself and I think it will create a safe space for everyone to create, to embrace their creativity, even if you're young or old, or it doesn't really matter what age you are, to create something. But um I think it's important that that to 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 do art, whether dancing, singing, or anything, or visual arts, or crafting, or anything, you just have to allow yourself and not fear that you'd be judged, or not that you'd be embarrassed when people will see your painting. And that's not the perfect line, that's not how it's supposed to be. So if you own your painting, then you just have to be inspired by yourself, by your own creation, and just show it to the world. I have so many paintings of the children that some some people may not be able to appreciate it, but allowing them to express themselves, and to appreciate that, even in the rawness of it, even in the unfinished, even if it's unfinished. So you just have to allow it. You just have to grab the paint. If you're angry, you can you can just whisk it, and So it cannot be contained into just one process. Nah, this is
Mhm.
that, or this is the perfect circle. You should copy this one, or you should So parang it's just allowing yourself to create something out of nothing, or out of a blank canvas, and just embracing your own truth. And I think if we have that courage, and even in that simple exercises, to have courage to draw and think, or create something, or make songs, or dance, or whatever you want to I think it can be very healing, not only for the mental health, but in the entirety of the spectrum of the world. It can heal. If all of us heal, then it can be a very big thing. So parang for me, this works for me. I can just own it because this works for me. But I don't know if it works for other people, but I can only say that this works for me. This has been my, like, if I was battling depression before, this is my weapon. It is my weapon of But then I realized even the depression was still a blessing. It was still a because it allows me to, because we have this connotation that depression is like a mental illness, but it's actually a spiritual emergence. Spiritual emergence is like when a butterfly, or when a caterpillar has to make its own cocoon and allow itself to become a butterfly. So it's something like that. It's actually a birth of a healer to some culture, and that's why um, people who are going through mental illness, or mental health what's this challenge, is actually a birthing of something new. But then we tend to suppress that with so many medicines and all, and that's why
True.
we tend to suppress it, and we don't allow ourselves to make sense out of it. And that's why maybe it's I see it in the perspective of the science, no, that like maybe it's a hormones because I studied this one. Na, ano, it can be a neurotransmitter or something. It's ano, maybe it's a hormonal imbalance. But if you really look into it, there are so many cultures who embrace it as a spiritual emergence. It's like a birthing of a healer. And if the community are doesn't understand that, it can be very difficult for the for people who has that, you know, mental health challenge. I don't call it anymore mental illness or, you know, because I don't see it that way. It's like a differently when people see, like, people call it disabled. I call it like differently abled. You just can't understand it yet. But maybe at the higher perspective, or maybe it's like abnormal is like above normal. So you see, it's a people will tend to discredit the fact that it's actually a process. It's a process of a spiritual emergence. So then,
Wow.
or if
You are
you're having mental challenge, things can get better.
amazing. You're dropping golden nuggets in there. And I just would like to reiterate that one. I think that's very important. More than medication, it's actually meditation can be the medicine, as what you
Yes.
said. Yeah. And then it's like what you have gone through, it's like what you said, it's a birthing of a healer, because what you have gone through, you can actually, once you overcome it, you can share how you've overcome it, and you can be, as what you said, the birthing of a healer. You become a healer because you
Yeah.
actually share how you overcome these problems. All those people are suffering right now. So I really like that one. Thank you
Yeah,
for that.
but it also
So last
parang
question. Yep.
yeah, okay, okay.
Go on, go
Parang
on. Go on, go on.
parang it doesn't like, because we have like it's a it's also a very humbling experience to experience such kind of things. And I think it's very important to also just not soar high, but also to
Mhm.
keep rooted, your feet rooted in the ground. So it's like no one is flying above us. Even if they're in an airplane, it still lands and they still have to walk
Mhm.
on earth. It, parang it's to empower, it's like no one is above us except the sky and the higher one and the stars and the sun and the moon. So it's actually in the spirits, and it's actually a
We're losing.
humbling
We're losing you again. Why?
experience as well.
Thank you very much, Shen, for answering all those questions. Thank you. Thank you. Anything that you would like to promote? Why?
Um,
Anything that you would like to promote?
I actually don't have any. Hababi is actually still on the making. I'm making a website for where I can tell for the all these treasures I accumulated, the paintings of the children and their stories, and also my insights. It's the hababi.com, but it's not yet out.
Okay, so that's
I
we're
don't have
losing her
any
again. Oh,
concern. Maybe I can actually, I'm
okay. All right. So from Glory Ann Kulanag. Thank you for watching. And she said in YouTube, thank you, Moyin. Thank you, Esme, for sponsoring sensible webinars like the one we are having today. And again, from Glory Ann Kulanag, I've got a lot of takeaways. Salamat po. Yan. And Bet Pilar said, hello, Yen. We miss you. So that's all we got time for. Again, all of you who attended this webinar, please get your digital certificate on the link posted below. And you can also get it from www.esme.ph, courses about meditation. And again, I would like to invite everyone, if you want to learn more, you get more skills and knowledge in whatever field you want. We offer a wide range of master classes, courses that will be suitable to your interest, passion, and profession. So again, I would like to thank our speaker, Ramona Barbosa Moyin, or she prefers to be called Y. Just remember her as Y. And for the topic that she shared to us, very enlightening and very empowering. And I hope you had a lot of takeaways. And I think that's it for now. Again, this was brought to you by the Rotary Club of Alabang, Madrigal Business Park, and this is in partnership with ASEAN Youth Organization, an ASEAN-approved nonprofit organization that spreads ASEAN to over 200 million young people in Southeast Asia. And of course, don't forget to visit our website, www.esme.ph. So this is Jhermy, your host, based here in London. I would like to wish everyone good health, stay safe, and namaste. See you all again. And don't forget next time to always take down notes. That's very important. And most of all, this is for free. So why not grab it? Grab it. Otherwise, you're gonna lose it. So bye for now. This is your host, Jhermy. Namaste.